Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening into the show. We are your hosts, Chase and Myles. We are at the Lucky Duck.
Woo!
Myles, who do we got today?
Today's guest needs no introduction. She comes from the deep, dark underground bunkers of South Dakota. For a long part of her life, she was Florida woman, eventually getting the fuck out and moving to the great state of Colorado. Her last name reminds me of the brand of Miracle Berry called Imberi. She's a Khaleesi, breaker of chains, a proponent of women's rights, change and chains. It brings me pleasure to introduce Miss Hana Imberi.
Oh my god. I love that. Wow. Good job, my.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hannah,
you.
what are we drinking today?
So, we are having a variety pack of local craft beers from Odell Brewing Company. We've got like a sour. I have a grapefruit white ale.
Same.
Wow.
And then there's like 2 IPAs that I'm sure we'll get to a little bit later.
What else? What else is in the pack?
That's it.
Sounds like we
IPAs,
need to be
sour.
like at least get some money from Odell for this.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this is not sponsored, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say? We're not good. No, we're not good. No.
One day.
We have about one listener. It's probably just Myles listening back to this.
It is me.
Yeah.
I keep refreshing the page and I just like it restarts the audio, so it works.
I love it.
Exactly. So, Hannah, why don't you
Yeah.
tell the lovely people of the internet what you do?
What I do?
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you up to these days?
You want to hear my life story?
Wait, did I mention that Hannah has a cat? What's his name?
His name is Leo DiCaprio. Yeah, he's very beautiful to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe
He's cute.
maybe we should start with like how we know Hannah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
long
How
history.
do we know
We
you?
have known each other for a long time
When
now.
did we meet you?
I think like 8 years ago. It was 2012. Is that 8 years ago?
Maybe.
That sounds correct. Yeah, the math
This year
checks
has
out
been
on that
about
one.
8 years.
Yes. We have long history. We met at Florida State University. It was like literally my first day at college, and my boyfriend at the time already knew you guys. And so he took me over to Chase's little apartment in the preserve.
So the OG
Uh-huh.
Lucky Duck.
Yeah. And I met like everyone in the group day one of college.
Yeah.
So we go way back.
One of my favorite parts of meeting Hannah and like the first couple nights of getting to know her is like I remembered you, Janie, and like somebody else. I can't remember. They were like, "Let's do shots."
Oh, you're going to go right into that story?
Oh yeah. And Hannah just started crying.
It's because I was like a goody two shoes in high school, and I never drank in high school, and I had never taken a shot before. And then like
And then you met Chase.
yeah, and then, like day 2, Janie was there and was like, "Oh yeah, take a shot," and she was being super nice about it. And I just like freaked out because I was so embarrassed to have never had taken one before. So yeah, we got off to a good foot. Got off on
Makes
good
for a
start.
good story.
Yeah.
It goes to show that things don't ever change. Mostly just me trying to get you to do shots.
And me crying.
Yeah,
We did have a couple of shots before this, and she did cry a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true. It did
just a
happen.
little bit.
Uh-huh.
So then after we met, we were friends, pretty good friends.
Uh-huh.
You lived with my wife,
Uh-huh.
and
My wife.
who wasn't my wife at the time, but you lived with her,
Mm-hmm.
and from that point on, we grew friends.
Yeah.
More and more, and we eventually split apart, all of us, when we all left for college.
Uh-huh.
And what did you do? You stayed in Tallahassee and did what?
Right after college?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stayed in Tallahassee for like exactly 1 year. I got a job working for Florida State in their like main human resources department. And yeah, did that for a year. I actually like hated it. It was like a completely like a data entry job. And so it was just super repetitive and it sucked. And I just went through a breakup with Cole, who I'm sure will be on the podcast one day. And yeah, we were together for like 7 years, and he was in grad school, like in the same building that I was working in. So it was so awkward.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I would
either.
see him like we'd cross paths, like working in the same building. And I didn't really have a plan to like stay in Tallahassee after college anyways. I just like pretty much got that job because he got into grad school there. And so I was like, okay, we'll stay here for like 2 years or however long he has to do that. But we broke up like pretty soon after I got the job. So I was like, all right, got to push through 1 year here. So I'm not like just circling through a job really quickly. And then, yeah, I just like sold everything that I had. I, actually got a job at Open Table in Denver.
Whoa, that's a pretty big company.
Yeah. And I swear it was like a miracle that I got that job. Like, I still don't know how that happened. Because I was still living in Florida and everything.
That's crazy. Did you just apply online?
Yeah, I was applying to like 10 jobs a night. I just wanted to like get out of Tallahassee.
Because you're awesome.
Oh, thanks, Miles. But yeah, so I actually had a trip planned with Erica, who is your first podcast guest.
Yeah, and Erica, you know her she's from Ocala.
Yeah, from middle
Florida.
School. We've known each other since middle school.
The first Lucky Duck guest, Erica.
Uh-huh.
Small world.
Yeah, we go way back.
Wow. There's going to be a lot of these small worlds.
Uh-huh.
It's,
All of
it's
the-
going to be mostly people from Florida.
Yeah, all the episodes will be connected.
Yeah.
But yeah, so her and I like had a trip planned to Denver just for fun, and it ended up working out that I had like had a phone interview with Open Table, and then I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in Denver in like a week if you want to meet me in person. So that worked out, and yeah, they offered me the job and was like, can you be here in like 2 weeks? So sold all my stuff and just packed like whatever would fit into my car and drove out here like over 3 days, and then landed at Chase's house.
I can't imagine Open Table's doing well right now.
I know.
Like, that's probably a good. So you're not at Open Table anymore.
Nope. I started a new job during this quarantine period at a really awesome company called. It's another like big tech company here in Denver.
What do they do?
So they're like a software communications type of company. The example I always use to describe it is like when Uber sends you the text message that says your car is here, they're using Twilio's software to like code that message to be sent to the user. So they have like texting software, voice software, like video software, all this kind of stuff.
In fact,
That's
I've
awesome.
used software.
Yeah.
In fact, my company actually integrates.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, our goal is to like make life easier for developers to code.
Makes life easier.
Good. Yeah, so that's been a whole thing, starting a new job in quarantine.
That's
I haven't met
interesting.
like any of my coworkers in person or anything.
Right, because you've just been working from home
I know.
this entire time.
Yeah, and we're like scheduled to be working from home for like a full year. They said you can work from home through at least like August of next year. So hopefully like the people in Denver and I can come together like at a park or something to meet before a year from now, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
So where are their offices located?
They're a super global company too. I actually like pulled a report today, and we have almost 4,000 employees, which is pretty big for a tech company. And they have a headquarters in San Francisco, of course, and then a big office right downtown in Denver. I have like a coworker in Estonia. We've got like an office in Bengaluru, India.
Is this their second largest office here in Denver?
I think it is, yeah.
Do you know of any employees working at the office right now?
They're completely shut down.
Really?
Yeah, nobody's like even allowed to go in.
That's crazy. Imagine all the office buildings just
I know.
Yeah.
totally vacant.
Yeah.
I heard Pinterest to buy out the lease in their San Francisco office. They were saying that they were going to pay out like $80 to $90 million.
Oh my
get out of
gosh.
that lease.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I'm assuming it's a multi-year lease because there's
Yeah.
no way you're
Yeah.
paying that much for. I mean, San Francisco real estate's just outrageous.
God.
So I
Yeah.
can imagine
Yeah,
those
for now.
numbers are pretty accurate, but I can imagine being a commercial real estate mogul is going to be pretty tough in the coming years as
Yeah.
more and more businesses try to figure out and realize that working from home can be doable.
Yeah.
I think you and I have had several conversations before about like what we think about working from home. My stance has always been, and we have somebody over here that works from home
It's always
100%, even
Yeah.
before the quarantine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that you're not as productive, and I'm not saying anybody here is not as productive, but like I think there's a bit of synergy that happens in the office that isn't replicated at home.
Yeah, I think it's a fact that you're not as productive at home, but I think like it's really nice that like Twilio, for example, it's like cares about their employees, just like mental health and stuff, enough to let them work from home during this time. And like they said they might open the offices before August of next year, but like employees have the choice to work from home until then. So
Yeah.
I think it's nice to have the choice.
I think that, yeah, that's a good decision. I think that, like, so I think I've been working from home for like 4 years now ish, something like that. And I definitely wish I had a place I could go to if I wanted to, maybe once or twice a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm like very productive working at home, and I don't know if in my current position would be more productive in the office because a lot of my work is independent. But to give you an example, my team just started, or a couple months ago, started working on a big project, and we actually factored into our estimates of how long it would take. The fact that we are remote and that we can't just get into a room and chat about something, and that we're across the world from each other. And
that's interesting.
So it definitely.
that's interesting.
So they gave you more time due to that.
They didn't give us more time, but we told them it would take more time.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
would be like
technically,
sad for sure if Twilio or whatever company I was working for like announced that they were going to close all of the offices. Said that like during this time they've been like renovating the office downtown and stuff, so they have no intention of closing them. And I would definitely be sad if they did, because I love like going into an office and being able to be around other people because I live alone. So yeah,
it gets lonely, especially if you live somewhere. Like especially if you just moved somewhere, if you started a new job, you just moved somewhere, and it's just you and your spouse or whatever. You don't have a lot of friends. It can be incredibly lonely. I've done it. I've moved places where I didn't know anyone, or I just knew my wife, and it's really actually really difficult to meet other people working in an office and having to, like, a lot of companies do events and things like that you can do to get to know people better and make friends and whatnot. So
like all of my friends outside of this duck group are from Open Table, because I haven't had the chance to make any friends like in person yet.
I found it amusing when people were trying to convince, when I brought up the whole like you're not as productive, and I had a lot of people be like, no, I'm just as productive as I am. I'm like, shut the fuck up. No, you're not. Like, they had to like, no, I am. And then I'd hear like people be like, yeah, I turn on Call of Duty like when I'm not in meetings. I'm like, you're full of shit. You're not productive. Like,
or
you're
maybe
wasting company time.
Maybe people just like don't work at work either. I
Well,
guess that's a
that
possibility.
was like one of my arguments to Chase one time, like saying that even if I was in the office, like I would spend a decent amount of time just like chatting with my coworkers, or like,
but you can also argue that provides some quality relationship, it's synergy between coworkers, and
definitely.
so even though the company, so if the company is paying you to sit at home and do nothing or play video games or whatever you're doing versus talking to your coworkers.
Yeah, at
I
least
think,
you're building a relationship.
my
with them.
company spends millions of dollars getting employees together.
Yeah.
Because we all work remotely, so that we
yeah,
can have that.
same.
You know.
Yeah, the example I give is like New York City. Like a lot, it's very well known that if you work in New York City, that you're kind of, there's a workaholic, almost
Yeah.
a heavy work ethic culture that's developed there, and it's heavily due to the fact that the population's so dense,
Yeah.
and everybody's kind of piled up on each other, and you're constantly like comparing yourself to everybody else. And so there's a bit of competition and synergy that happens in the office environment when you're in like such a big city like that.
Not to mention you have all of those other people in the city who look like they're doing business or whatever, and it kind of motivates you like, I should be like that.
Yeah.
You see the guy rolling down the street with his briefcase and his tie, and or maybe he gets out of his Ferrari, and you're like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah. You know, I bet there's a lot of people in Silicon Valley who have that mindset, like, oh my God, I could be that.
Yeah.
You know,
I heard about specifically to Silicon Valley from a couple of people who had Teslas and were doing, or no, it wasn't Teslas, it was buses. So Google will bus their people in. And they provide it free of charge to all their employees, and their expectation is, and they have Wi-Fi on the bus.
Ooh.
So when you step foot on the
They
bus,
expect you to be
you're
working.
like
You're working.
stepping foot into the office.
Wow.
So you're kind of almost expected to like
That's
log
crazy.
on and do start your
Yeah.
day.
Wow.
And a lot of, one of the benefits to working at home that people have been seeing since COVID is you don't have that commute time.
Yeah.
So you have, you're either working earlier,
huge benefit.
and
Yeah.
getting off later, or you're, allowing yourself some time to acclimate in the morning, like get up, have yourself a coffee, maybe turn on the news.
Yeah.
Or
That's one thing I
watch
really like.
cartoon for
Yeah.
Hannah.
That's one thing I really like about working from home is like my manager is super chill, which is awesome. And he's literally said, like, I don't give a shit if, like, when you work, as long as you get your work done. And I've kind of found, like, I like putting in an hour or two on the weekends or, like, after hours, and then, like, not being so, like, back to back all day during normal work hours. I like the, like, flexibility that I have now.
I have gone back and forth on that a lot. So especially in my old job, I used to get paid to work overtime. And so I would work it just to make more money.
Yeah.
I was living by myself for part of the time. And then when I started working from home, it kind of like became hard to separate like my free time and working. And even now it kind of still is. And so I think I got to a point where I kind of dread like giving up any time on my Saturday or Sunday, whatever, to work. And so for me, almost exclusively, I'll sit down I'm usually starting 6:30, 7 a.m. and then I get done 3, 4, or 5 o'clock, whatever. And then I'm done. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do anything after that. I think that's probably just because I work from home. And if I worked in an office, I might have more liberties around that. But I don't know. It's weird.
That's the beauty of it. Like you can do that, and I can work on the weekend if I want to or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's a weird thing that happens when you're having meetings in person versus Zoom. Like there's a bit of humility that's removed.
Yeah, it's true because no one sees you. No one sees what you're doing.
All the mannerisms and nuance of conversation starts to fade away via Zoom call.
Especially if the company doesn't care if you like turn your camera off or something.
Right. Yeah.
I never do video calls.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, on my Mac, so we actually use Zoom. We've used it for a long time, and I have it set where it can't use my video, and I actually have a cover on the camera as well. But I think so. I actually have like regular meetings every week where I'll have coworkers who just sit on mute the entire time.
Yeah, and
There's
it's like, why are you even here?
Yeah, there's really no like responsibility of like you should be talking because they're not in the room looking at you. You don't have no idea what they're doing, and I guarantee they're probably just working on something.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that this cover is not for what you say it is. I think you're either masturbating in front of your computer all day.
I think that
Myles has a good view in his office of the pool area, and his desk is right in front of the window.
So you're not wrong about that, except for the fact that during the day the sun is just blaring into my eyes, so I don't actually see anything out there.
All right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
To be continued.
Plus, I'm not a pervert, so
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. You set up that camera in my house, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah. So I was wondering, when you worked for Open Table, what did you like about the company?
Definitely, like, number one, the culture and the people. It's like a tie between the culture and the people, which I think the people make the culture, so it's like hand in hand. But yeah, I just love like working for the tech industry. I think it's so relaxed, and I love that.
And it
like,
makes a lot of money.
Yeah, that too.
Sometimes. I don't know if
Sometimes.
Open Table was very profitable.
No. I mean, it makes the employees a lot of money.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, that's
And the
what,
shareholders.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If it actually makes money,
Yeah,
You know,
I love like. Yeah, they would
numbers.
throw like really fun events and stuff, all kinds of team building stuff. Like I got to travel a lot. Like you said, to like just go and spend time with my other coworkers, because I was actually the only like people operations person in Denver. So my boss lived in San
Did
Francisco.
you call it people operations?
We called it people
So
operations.
you called your
Great.
HR people.
Yeah,
The
it
people
was
department.
like the people and culture team.
My company does that too.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I think
very
that's
common.
the more hip way.
Yeah, it is. For sure.
Yeah.
In fact, it's really
It's a
weird.
rebranding. It's a very sneaky marketing thing.
Yeah. So my company did that, and not everyone, I should say. Most people hated it.
Really?
Yeah, and our
Most people don't like change.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
I think part of the problem is we all know HR is there to support the people, but first and foremost, it's to make sure the company doesn't get sued.
Yeah.
Right.
That's your entire job, is to make sure it does not get sued by the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah, so then everyone thinks cynically, like it's just the company's out to get me, or the company. Like,
At Open
they just
Table,
want
we
money.
were the
Yeah.
people and culture team. So our goal was like to make a good culture for the company, which I think is really awesome that they would prioritize that enough to name the whole
And
team.
you guys had
after it.
all kinds of great, like, I'll call them like benefits, but like you had like breakfast bars. And
Yeah, we have like a
mimosas.
pool table in the kitchen.
Yeah,
and
all these
all
really
of that
cool
classic
things.
tech stuff. Yeah.
What about I know you talked before about how, like, I think the leadership team was like, was it all women, or the CEO was a woman or something?
The CEO was a woman at Open Table when I started. She was for the first she was for like a while, but while I was there, the first like 2 years. And then Open Table is under the Booking Holdings brand of companies. So,
Which was
like Priceline, Agoda, Kayak, and Open Table.
Booking.com.
I love Kayak.
Of course, Booking.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Kayak and Open Table partnered up and merged leadership and everything. So then the Kayak CEO became our CEO.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. But for a while, it was kind of like known as a company that like supports women's rights.
Yeah,
and
it
empowerment
definitely
and stuff.
still is, even though
It is, yeah.
Yeah, even though the CEO is a man.
Nice.
Well, actually, Open Table just like announced that they have a new CEO. So it was the woman, and then the man from Kayak, and then it's a woman again now, who was like the COO at Kayak. She's now the CEO of Open Table too. So that's awesome. Yeah.
How are they still in business is what I want to know.
They've
God
got
damn.
all kinds, like they're being very innovative for sure. Open Table's like been using their software now for people to like book a time slot to go to a grocery store, and they're like definitely innovating a lot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah,
other
reservations
events.
have been the name of the game.
Yeah.
Since COVID, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
to get into the Rocky Mountain National
Right?
Park,
Yeah.
you need a
You
reservation.
need a reservation for
There's
everything
an
now.
open table for that.
Yeah.
Not yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah.
I don't think the government will pay for that.
No.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they closed. They closed
What?
Red Rocks.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, starting in October, I think.
Yeah, they're closed. So does that mean they're closing like the trails around Red Rocks?
You can't
and all
even
the
go to like
parking
work out
lots?
or anything there.
I don't know about that. I think it might just be any events going on. So like the
Oh.
yoga stuff, I doubt they'll have that.
Well, yeah, if
Yeah,
they're closing
yeah.
that. I'm just
Although they
baffled
might.
that they would close that because that's one of the top things to do in Denver is
Yeah.
to go visit. Like, when you do that,
Just
you
to,
don't
like,
do
take a
anything.
picture of
you
it.
like
Yeah.
either you go see the venue, which is open to the public. You can, run the stairs and do an exercise. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have to sign up or pay for any of that.
Yeah.
It's all free. Even just to park there, it's free. And you can do all the hiking trails around it. It would be a shame if they're gonna close that. Why aren't you closing the state parks and stuff? Like, it doesn't
Yeah,
make
that is
sense. So
weird.
it must just be the events.
It's a private company, right?
No, it's owned
It's
by
not?
the city of Denver. I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure. Well, at least it's funded
I'm
by because
sure.
they're furloughing the staff, which is
Oh,
why they have to
yeah.
close it.
Oh, I didn't
And then
know
they had
that.
they're furloughing like the Denver Performing Arts Center.
Oh, no way.
So, like,
I
yeah.
love them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't have. It's going to be
Events.
tough to do.
No
Yeah, I
place
think-
the
this year.
Broadway
Yeah.
performances there and stuff.
Denver
Orchestra.
or I think Colorado is one of the more hurt states. I don't know why. I had seen a graph
Oh, yeah.
maybe a month ago or whatever, where they saw their government, I guess their ability to spend has gone down a lot.
Oh,
Interesting.
man.
And
I wonder why that is. I heard that the all the protesting caused
Oh, yeah.
just on the Capitol building alone, like $1 to
Oh,
$2
yeah.
million worth of damages.
Like the vandalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damages? Oh wow!
Yeah, damn. So they had to
They had like windows busted and everything.
tons of stuff.
In
Yeah.
in the Capitol building.
It's such a shame.
Yeah,
Oh,
they had to board
interesting.
up like all
I'm
these
just
windows
glad
and
that it
stuff.
hasn't gotten to the way it is like in Portland or Seattle, that like here.
Yeah.
Like riots and stuff like that, just generally historically speaking,
Mm-hmm.
can set your local economy back for decades.
Yeah.
And it can also introduce tons of poverty, like the Rodney King riots and stuff. As historical as that is,
Yeah.
that set them back decades. They
Yeah.
couldn't recover from that. That's what I heard. Fact check me on that.
What news network was that?
Yeah. It was the Miles News Network, MNN.
MNN. Nice.
MNN.
I started that a couple months ago.
Mm.
A lot of fake Russian sponsored news on there. So just
I heard,
AKA.
I heard like what the United States used to do, and I'm sure they still do it, is they like set up news outlets or like newspapers or magazines in other countries, and then they'll have like American news outlets reference, like, so like in Uganda or whatever, they'll set up like the Uganda Times,
Oh.
and then the New York Times can reference the Uganda Times is saying this, but it's really just the United States
oh, interesting.
sending propaganda. Like,
Never heard of that.
yeah,
I
there was
believe it.
there was a guy, the father of podcasting, Adam Curry.
Oh.
His parents used to do that. So I just listened to a podcast
Oh, yeah.
where he talked a bit about that, and he found out because he always he has a long history of talking about how his parents are patriots and they always worked for the American government, and he like later in life found out that they were like sowing doubt or sowing misinformation to benefit like
The
national interests for
Nice.
America. Yeah.
Nice. So we're no different than any other.
No.
No.
When they talk about Russia interfering with the elections, like, we're doing the fucking
Oh
same
yeah,
thing.
of course.
God.
Of
Like,
course. Yeah.
But it just sucks because it's happening to us, and we don't want that. And democracy is important, of
Yeah.
course.
right.
I just
but-
registered to vote in
Hell
Colorado.
yeah!
Nice.
Yeah.
You
I
were
need to.
registered to vote before?
I was registered in Florida.
Okay, well, that's good.
So-
Just like my plates are still in Florida and my ID's still Florida.
yeah, because
but
how many years ago did you move here?
3.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Okay,
So don't tell the government.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can
Just
register to vote here without a Colorado ID or anything.
Yeah. So did you just mail in the forms? Because I need to do that too.
No, it was so easy. You go to like govotecolorado.com and
Which is like a Russia site.
Yeah.
there's
They
just this
stole all your
PDF
data.
form.
Just kidding, guys.
It's just a little PDF that you fill out and then you have to sign it. But I like signed it on my Mac with the Mac editor
Electronic
thing.
signature.
Yeah, and then you just email it to like the whatever
Really?
county.
Can you send
clerk.
that to me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it took her 1 day to process it, and now
Wow.
it says I'm active. Yeah.
Okay, I need to do that. So they'll send you a mail-in ballot.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
they will.
Are there
People-
going to be in-person
Yes.
polling?
Actually, I
I'm
don't know.
unsure. Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people are talking about like I'm afraid that this whole mail-in voting thing is going, like, a lot of the news outlets and the parties are going to blame the election results on
Yeah,
course.
the mail-in.
And a lot of
So
people are like,
wrong.
it's stupid. Like, people from Texas, I was hearing, are getting a lot of delivering criticism on the mail-in voting. And Colorado has been doing. I voted in the last presidential election by mail.
I
Anyone can
used
do
to
it.
vote in Florida
Zero
by mail all
reported
the
fraud.
time. Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand. I mean,
Right.
yes, obviously there can be fraudulent. There's a lot of things that can happen in voting, in-person voting,
Yeah,
that can happen
seriously.
in the same kind of, not in the same way, but in the same sense, like fraud.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I mean, I kind of understand the argument because it's a lot more people doing it like that. And
Yeah,
I mean,
than
if you've
before.
ever gone to an actual voting station, I mean,
I've
they'll check
always
your
voted by
ID.
mail.
They'll
Yeah.
make sure that you sign your signature the same
Oh,
way that's on
really?
your ID, which is kind of crazy, especially
Yeah.
I
when
don't
you-
do that.
when you were 15 or 16 when you got your ID, and then you're like 20 something years
Uh-huh.
old and you're like, I was a kid.
You just need to get your new ID.
No, I know, but my point is that I understand people's concerns, but at the same time, I mean, it like you are you, like you're a
Yeah.
person, you have a social security, you have an ID, and you're one vote.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess somebody could pretend to be you, steal your identity, but it's still one vote.
Yeah.
It's understandable why the Democrats are totally okay with it and the Republicans are throwing their hands up. It's simply because younger people don't go out and vote.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Statistically speaking,
But
younger
now we
people
can all just
don't
vote by
turn out.
mail.
So
Yeah.
if you give Americans an easier, more convenient
Yeah,
way
now
to
they're
vote,
scared.
now a larger population of people will actually turn out to vote.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
register.
To be honest, it kind of makes sense because is there anything that you can't do online now? I mean, a couple of things, like every so often you have to go to the DMV. Every so
The
often,
only
yeah.
thing I can think
Right.
of.
But most other things you can do
Do online.
online. You
You
can
bank.
apply for a credit card.
You bank online.
Everything.
You
You
can
have
move,
to go to the DMV in person or go to the doctor.
Yeah. You can
But
move
you can do telehealth
True.
now, so
Exactly. You don't even have to be you. You can wear a
Uh-huh.
mask.
yeah.
you can move thousands of dollars
they don't
across
have
the
to see you.
interweb
Yeah.
online. Like,
Yeah.
that's fairly secure.
Yeah.
Why can't we make voting the same way? I mean, obviously the digital age provides avenues to be hacked and there's compromises and stuff. Yes,
Yeah, we've been
the
doing
for
so
sure
many
way
other
is to
things.
show up and have your ID checked
Uh-huh.
and your signature checked, whatever, against your ID signature. Yes, that's a very for sure way.
Uh-huh.
But we can't be living in the dark ages. We have to innovate if we're going to face pandemics in the future or
I know.
uncertainties. We
Yeah.
have to have solid backup plans to rely on to keep our government running
Yeah.
efficiently and in a fair way.
Yeah.
It's really a shame. I mean, if you so you don't even have a choice that your entire digital identity exists, like with your credit report, right? Or your credit file, like Experian, et cetera.
Yeah.
They collect all that data, your social security number, everything.
Uh-huh.
And you can't opt out of it. And so like you should, if that's all digital, if your entire life is digital, you
Yeah.
should be able to like vote
Oh,
digitally.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
true.
God. Okay, can I grab another beer?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, can you grab me one too?
Uh-huh.
Not this one.
Okay.
Not the sour.
This
So
is
the sour
a
wasn't
the
good?
sour. Okay, so this is the Sippin' Pretty by Odell Brewing Company.
I'll take one, Hannah. I'll do
Boom.
whatever
That's
you're
what it
having.
looks like. For you people who are watching on YouTube, please subscribe to us. By the way,
Smash the like button.
so, yeah, hit that like button,
All right,
smash
we're
the
gonna
subscribe.
have this one.
What do we got here?
This one.
Ooh, snap! I got a purple can, and it is the Pulp Theory. Oh, hazy IPA. Very nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
those ones aren't fruity, so you should be good.
I mean,
What did you do for me?
We've got this crushable IPA.
Crushable IPA. Okay.
I think it's just
IPA
your
is-
standard IPA.
Is my least favorite.
Oh,
give
really?
you
You want me to
all
get
sounds
you a
right.
No,
different one?
no. But I'm always down to try a new IPA. So we'll see.
I love IPAs. It's
shout
good.
out to my second grade teacher, who said I wasn't shit. I got a radio show now, bitch.
Radio.
It's famous.
This is on the radio?
Oh my god, we're famous?
Nah,
We need to get a radio in here right now.
I do have a radio. It's right behind us. It's pretty cool.
I spilled.
Doubles.
Oh my god. So Hannah was 30 minutes late to this podcast. Your
That's true.
reoccurring guest percentage, like probability, is
Just
like
went down?
now you just spilled all
Oh,
over this
shit.
gorgeous table that
Yeah.
I got.
No, I spilled on the floor, so it's fine.
So
Oh, even
basically,
better, on
your
the floor.
compensation package has been split in half.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna be a monthly guest, please. And thank
Monthly?
you.
we'll see how this goes.
So we're only going to have one podcast per 6 months.
No.
We actually have a pretty good lineup.
Yeah, we
coming.
do.
Yeah, we have. We don't have any famous people,
Well,
so if you
That's-
could become famous,
that's
and then
kind
become
of
a recurring
subjective,
guest,
though,
that would be
right?
great.
Like, I mean, they could be famous, kind of, right?
I guess so. So Hannah, we talked a bit about the hike that we did last weekend with Mike
Yeah?
when he was on the podcast.
Yeah.
You guys will see that. He listened
Yeah,
to
I
it.
missed that
probably.
one.
Yeah, please listen to it.
I will.
Oh, what's our
Thanks.
Instagram?
Yeah.
At the Lucky Duck.
At the Lucky Duck.
Oh, at.
Yeah,
if you're calling us out, it's at the Lucky Duck.
yeah. And
No.
what's our Twitter handle?
at the Lucky Duck.
At the Lucky Duck.
It's a 3 and then an at the
I
Lucky
misspelled
Duck.
duck.
Yeah.
So no, I'm just kidding.
At the Lucky
Do
Fuck.
we do we have a tweeter?
We will.
We should.
It's coming.
Okay, cool.
Be patient.
It'll be on our Instagram.
So we did a hike, and
Yeah.
I was calling Hannah a basic white bitch.
I am a proud basic bitch.
because there's a virus going around that's like pretty exclusive to Colorado and has nothing to do with
No.
COVID.
COVID-19.
It's white girls taking topless photos on top
Okay.
of mountains.
To be clear,
I
it's-
promise
it's-
you.
It's from the backside.
Yeah, true.
So all the,
The boring
young,
of the two
all the
sides.
young
Titties
ones
were
listening to this,
seen.
don't go Googling Colorado
Yeah.
topless pics.
I promise you, I did not have that idea in mind at all until we got up there, and we were the only people up there, and it was so beautiful. And I was like, "Wow, I could
That's
go
incorrect.
naked up here."
That's
Nice.
not correct. That's not how I remember.
That is
there was at least
true.
a dozen people up there that saw
Well,
your hoo-has.
no, when we first got there,
Yeah.
when we first got there, that's when the idea came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, like a dozen people showed up, and I was still like, "Woo!"
Yeah,
I feel like I almost feel like like you copied Chase and I.
Oh my god!
we did it.
I gave you the idea.
My dad actually sent me an article. Like he lives in Florida. He said, and it was like an article saying there's a trendy thing of girls taking
No, he
topless
didn't.
photos. Yeah. Yes.
That's how I knew about
Yeah,
it.
that's
Really?
Actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to take that picture with Chase.
Yeah.
Before,
Before?
you
Really?
even mentioned anything.
We'll
yeah.
we'll post it on the
Oh.
Instagram.
Yeah.
guys.
Post mine too.
It's pretty hot.
There you go. I'll post yours too.
Tag
right
me.
after. Yeah, I'll tag
Yeah.
you. You have to, I don't think I have your. Who took the photo?
Oh, I'll send it to you.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's not a reflection off the lake.
No,
Yeah,
it's
It
fine.
might get flagged for nudity on that, but Twitter it'll be okay because they allow porn and stuff.
True.
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
They do.
Instagram does not.
It's
Very
true.
strict
need
about
to
it.
get on Twitter.
Yeah, so it's a thing, and I
Mm-hmm.
actually knew about it before my dad sent me the article, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, this makes sense. So guys,
It's
if
like
you
a
want to see some
pro-woman
titties,
thing.
come out to Colorado. We got plenty of them. I heard that
Exactly.
every 5 minutes, 50 women show their tits.
It's
the-
like,
the
hello,
entire
we're
Colorado
strong women.
First off, it's got to be more than that. more than 50 for sure. But
You think?
yeah,
50%.
Every 5 minutes, 50 girls
Definitely.
show their tits
Oh.
in
there
Colorado.
are a lot of mountains and a lot of trails
a lot of girls.
and a lot of people like Hannah.
We're gonna see an uptick in real estate and tourism generally after this podcast, because I think we're just announcing it to the world. Nobody really knows yet.
Exactly.
Girls are just taking their shirts off for no reason.
Well,
For
in the middle of
empowerment.
nature.
Because men can get naked whenever they want.
Exactly. So
and
it's
I'm a
perfect.
woman and I love to
for
be
it.
naked. So I can take my shirt off in the middle of nowhere too.
This all stems from the free the nipple
Yeah.
hashtag, right?
I support that.
People started doing that. Women started doing that. Probably some men too. I mean, I've done it for sure.
We have.
Like, I don't know,
God.
7 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a long
Free
time.
the nipple.
Yeah, and then we just started hearing about this Colorado trend's a little new, but like, I mean, let's be honest. Did it actually make you feel any different that you took that picture?
Kind of. I was like, wow, I'm naked and everyone can see.
Yeah.
Because
No fucks given.
have you, like, in your life, having to like go to the beach or the pool wearing a bathing suit, have you felt like trapped inside your clothing?
Not necessarily, but like I can see how some like women would make that argument maybe, but I don't know.
I'm for it.
No, I'm
Let's whip
for
it
it
out.
100% too. I think it would be interesting to get get Hannah's viewpoint on how, like, did it actually, like, did you feel empowered when you did that?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's so like, I don't know,
Liberating.
frowned upon usually.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you're not like, it's obviously not a societal norm to be a woman and have your
Right.
shirt off.
You obviously have never been to Boulder.
Yeah, so
You should start growing your armpit.
I
hair now.
definitely felt empowered for sure.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an important thing,
Yeah,
I think.
I think
So I felt bad because I called Hannah
Yeah.
a basic white bitch, white girl. Sorry.
Thanks.
I use bitch. I use bitch in the most loving way.
I know.
Yes. Like, hey, bitch.
At the same time,
Yeah, I'm an
What's up?
empowered basic bitch.
at the same time, we have to do the, what is it, like, for the bros, basic bro, whatever.
Miles, can you
You're
pull
a
up,
basic bro.
Can you pull up
For sure.
basic white bitch on Urban Dictionary and see what it says?
Yeah, for sure.
Hana Imberi.
I'm just wondering. Because I feel like it may fall under the category.
It
of
may say
what-
something about Colorado and mountains and topless
Yeah.
pictures.
Well, there's this cool
not, we'll pin it.
like hiking group called the Boulder Hiker Chicks that are on Instagram, and
Nice.
that's where I first saw like them taking the topless
Oh,
photos.
of course. See?
Boulder
Nice.
Hiker
Told you.
Chicks.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to do a quiz here. Quiz
Oh,
time.
okay,
This is
okay.
a special part of the podcast where we quiz our guests.
Quiz time.
Quiz time.
You need a jingle for it.
So we're going to ask you one question at a time, and you're just going to say yes or no.
Okay.
Do you love Uggs?
No.
Okay. Do you love Starbucks?
No.
Ooh,
Only medium amount.
what?
I
Whoa,
like
whoa,
it,
whoa,
not love it.
Okay. She likes it.
She likes it, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like leggings?
Yes.
Do you love leggings?
Yeah.
Do you love white iPhones?
No.
What?
I'm all black.
What are white iPhones? That's a thing?
Black on black on
That
black.
used to be. I think in the special. No, in the like
In the iPhone 6
XLR
era?
version,
Yeah.
the cheap version.
Way back when Urban Dictionary was actually useful.
Yeah, exactly. I think this hasn't been updated in a while.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
like, do you like blackberries?
The fruit?
Do you love selfies?
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah. Why did
I
you
spoke
even
for
think
you.
about that? Yeah.
That you
Instagram?
need to
I
know.
took a selfie right before this.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. I think you've been taking selfies.
I think you get more pale if you don't take selfies. Like
It's true, like a vampire.
No, like a witch that has like it. Like the selfie gives you like life.
Yeah.
Like every time you take a selfie.
I need to feed off of it.
The flash provides some tan. What about heart emojis?
No.
Wow.
Mm,
Okay.
I don't
That's
know if I believe
surprising.
that.
Forever 21.
No.
Come on. You
You've
used to
never
love
been
it.
to
If
Forever
it said
21.
Urban Outfitters, I would say
Do
yes.
you love Urban Outfitters?
Yeah, that's
Tank tops?
probably basic. Yeah.
That's
Do
on
you
that list
love
too.
flipping your thin hair?
Yeah.
Nice.
She did it.
So,
She did it
I think-
before the podcast too.
Oh wait, this is the one. It's like new edition is do you love taking topless pics on mountains in Colorado?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
There we go.
Okay, so I don't feel as bad now.
So you're 75% basic white bitch, but we still love you.
Yeah.
Hey, I accept
You're
that.
the best.
It's like a medium amount of
Exactly.
basic.
But I mean,
It's an acceptable amount.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
is it offensive for someone to say that?
No.
No.
That's okay. I think she was
'Cause
just trying to give me
you're
hard
basic
shit.
White boys. too.
Whoa.
You want to watch your football and
Yeah.
That's
sit
fair.
on the couch.
I sit on the couch 0.2 times every 3 days.
Yeah. I sit on the couch
I only
eventually.
stand on the couch.
Exactly. Let's get back to where it all began.
Yeah.
Why did you move specifically to Colorado?
Well, like you said in my beautiful intro, I was born in South Dakota and I lived there until I was like 12. And like while my parents and I lived there, I'm an only child, so it's always just been my parents and I. Like Denver is really like the next biggest city from Rapid City, South Dakota, where we're from. So we spent a lot of time traveling to Denver if we wanted to like see a big city. So I'd been here a lot, and like my childhood best friend actually lives here too, who I like went to elementary school with and stuff.
Why have we never met this person?
I know. Unfortunately, I don't really
I'm
talk to her
offended.
that much anymore.
Wow.
But she does still live here. But I also have like a cousin, like a couple family members that live in Elizabeth, which is like a little bit farther south from Parker, Colorado. And then I had Chase and Janie here. So I was like, all right, we got 4 people in Denver that I know.
Wait, I think I picked you up from this person's place and we went camping.
You picked me up from my childhood friend's place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
That was like the day I moved here.
It was. Yeah. Yes, and I think I had Dom with me.
Yeah.
My cousin Dominic, who is awesome. Yeah, he. I can't believe I remember that. Now.
Yeah.
Is that like the only time you've seen this person?
Yeah, I saw her like twice right when I first moved here. Yeah,
You
but
should
I need
tell her
friends.
to listen to the podcast.
I will. Yeah. Shout out to Tori.
Yeah, tell her before.
Tori.
Yeah, her name's
Oh, nice.
Tori. Yeah. But yeah, so I knew like a handful of people here, and I went on a really fun camper van trip with Miles and his wife Sarah, and we went to San Francisco, and that was the first time I'd ever been to San Francisco.
Wait,
and
that was after you moved here?
no, that was before.
Before, okay.
Backing up a little.
Right.
And I loved San Francisco, and I was like, I want to live here, but San Francisco is like ungodly expensive.
Gross.
So I actually found Open Table by just searching for companies that had like offices in both San Francisco and Denver. Because I was like, maybe I could live in Denver and they could like fly me to San Francisco a lot. And it freaking worked out. I swear I like manifested that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of how I landed on Denver.
Nice. So let's get to your dating life a little bit.
Mm.
You've been eternally single since you
Eternally.
moved here, which is fine because apparently they're for all you guys interested in meeting some
Does
ladies.
anybody want to go on a date
there-
with me?
not only that, but Denver, I read,
Menver.
has a higher population of women
Really?
than there is men.
Oh, I think that might have changed since I first
Really?
moved here then. Because I know it used to have the nickname Menver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Never heard of that.
Well, then I think I need to catch up on the times. I heard
You
quite
might
the
be right.
opposite. So,
Yeah.
on a scale to one cat to crazy cat lady, how is your dating life going?
Like a 9.
So you're almost
How
You're-
many cats do you have?
Just one.
you're
Just
knocking on
Leo
the door
man.
for like
Yeah.
2 now.
I would
yeah.
totally get another one if I
But
fell in love.
2 isn't
But-
crazy.
Yeah, see, it's fine.
2's not crazy. I have 2, but I also have a partner. So I think you need to
I
get
know.
past that before you
I
get
know.
another cat.
Dating sucks.
Because
I
you
hate
get
dating.
you get another cat and you're still single, and then you're like,
I want another
what's a
one.
third?
Yeah,
gonna be?
yeah.
Like,
Because you're lonely and you
Yeah.
just want another companion.
know.
I get it.
so what have you been doing
Yeah.
to get yourself out there? Dating
know.
apps and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm on the apps.
What are
I'm-
the apps?
Huh?
What are the apps?
I'm on Hinge and Bumble. Hinge is
Not Tinder?
no, Tinder's like pure hookup land from what I've heard.
Nice.
And I'm not really into that.
Okay.
I don't really like it's kind of hard for me to like be attracted to someone. I feel like I need an emotional connection to like want to even have sex with somebody.
Wow, shocking.
Well, some people like
Yeah.
fuck anybody.
Yeah, of
Right.
course, yeah.
So not me.
No.
Yeah, so
you
no.
want to plug in your your
No,
Hinge
Find
Hinge
me
name?
at, well, I don't think that's how it works.
Okay, I don't know. I'm
Hana
far removed
Imberi.
from all this. I have no idea how that works.
I'm pretty sure you have
Hit
to.
me up.
It's
I'm
like,
Hannah Banana Fana.
I mean, if you really think I'm funny and want to go on a date with me, you could find me. You could like DM me on Instagram or something at Hannah Ventures.
Hannah Ventures.
Yeah.
Nice.
But no, I'm
Literally,
like,
the only people listening to this is Miles,
Are people
my
that we
cat,
know.
and people we know. Yeah.
Yeah.
no. Yeah, the dating apps is like random. They just randomly show people. I think. But yeah, it's not that fun.
How's it work? Is it the same like swiping and then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hinge is more like relationship-y, so you have to like fill out 5 prompts about like random shit about yourself,
Like
and
when you sign up.
yeah,
Okay.
you like can't even make.
I
an
thought it was
account.
like when you like match with somebody. I was like, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
No,
every
you
time.
can't.
I ain't gonna fill out a resume every time I meet somebody.
No, you have to fill out the resume to like even be on Hinge.
You don't have to fill. I mean, you have to like say something about yourself on any app, right?
Well, on Bumble, you can literally just have like pictures of yourself and no
So your
words.
topless mountain photo.
Nice.
I haven't put
I
that
guarantee
one on
if
there
you put that on there,
I'll get some.
instant match.
Well, the thing is, like, I get a lot of matches, not to toot my own
Oh
horn.
wow.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm not interested in like meeting any of them because I don't have any connection with them. And most of the time when you message someone, they're just like, hi. And then it's
So,
so
you
hard
think
to
you're
have like a
afraid
good
to like
conversation.
take that first step?
I know. I
maybe?
think I definitely should just be like, whatever, you seem boring, but maybe you're more fun like in person or something. But yeah, I would prefer to like meet someone in person.
organically.
Yeah.
It's
Or
kinda
like
hard
through
to
a
do that
friend of a
right
friend
now,
or
right?
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now is a
Bars are
horrible
kinda-
time to
I
do
know.
that.
Well, the bars aren't closed.
I know.
but-
The only person I've like dated here was somebody from Open Table. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. It's a weird situation.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like meeting people in general when you're out of college is really tough. Like when I moved here, I didn't know anybody. I moved here, and then like 3 months later, my wife moved here with me, or not my wife, but at the time we were engaged. But every time I went to try to like talk to somebody, be like, hey, that like, that person like seems like he's cool or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I was like adult flirting, like man
It's
flirting with
hard
the
to
Yeah.
guy.
make friends.
kinda
Yeah.
weird.
Can I get your number, bro? Like you seem
Yeah.
cool. Like, are you trying to hit on me? Like,
Like, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I think that it should be more of a thing. But guys don't really just go to the bar and like talk to other guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless there's like a football game on and
Yeah,
you're both at the
Right.
bar and you're both by yourselves.
or you're with other people and
Yeah.
that person joins the group, or like you're with
Yeah.
like, hey, I want you to meet my buddy, Steve.
Uh-huh.
Blah blah blah. He does this.
Right.
It's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the friends you made were through your wife, right?
Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
that you know?
A few.
Because
Yeah.
she worked for like a bigger company. And
Yeah, a company
for
that
you
had.
for you it was a smaller company, so
Yeah,
it's harder to meet
meet
people.
people.
It's almost like working from home where you don't meet as many people. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't meet anyone really.
Yeah, I worked in a smaller company that didn't really have a lot of younger people my age to commingle with, so it was really tough.
Yeah.
A lot of people were older, had kids.
That's how it was at Florida State.
Yeah.
Like I was by far the youngest person
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And then joining Open Table, and now
So many friends at Open Table.
yeah. So then once you go back into the
Yeah,
office,
I
that'll be-
can't wait to go back to because
Yeah.
also like at Open Table it was just one department in our office. It was just like the sales team had an office and the support team had an office, but the office is really big downtown, and so I could meet people from like legal or all kinds of different departments. So I can't wait. Hopefully they open next year.
I'm gonna pee real quick.
I'm sure they
Can I
will.
do that?
Yeah,
Guys,
go for it.
Guys, just keep talking.
I think we're gonna try to move into another subject. I'm
Ooh.
cracking open my next
Just
beer.
now I'm almost done with mine.
Wow, Speedy Gonzalez.
They're trying to get
over
me
here.
drunk because they made me take 2 shots before this.
We did not make you do anything. We were hanging out at this beautiful bar that Chase created.
At the Lucky Duck.
Yeah, just hanging out, having some shots, having
right.
some drinks. White Claws, classic White Claw,
I
not
don't
a
like
sponsor.
White Claw.
Okay.
Not a fan.
Well, you don't like seltzers.
Yeah.
So, working from home for me, I think, it can definitely like affect your mental health a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been times where I've felt a little bit lonely.
Uh-huh.
Luckily, I have my wife, and she is there all the time,
Yeah.
coming home, whatever, and so that's great. But I can imagine for a lot of other people, especially not being able to go out and do a lot of things. I mean, a little bit more now, but not before.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be pretty tough. And I was wondering, I think you're a good person to talk about that viewpoint.
Yeah.
How have you been feeling?
Yeah. Well, I struggle with like 3 mental illnesses.
Really? 3?
Yeah. So I have anxiety, depression, and OCD, like pretty bad. But
Okay.
I've like never really talked about it before.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm on like medication for them now. So luckily I'm not like struggling super hard anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So Chase is making his way back into the cast now. So Chase, we're getting into a little bit of a mental health discussion, and Hannah's talking about how mental health has affected her life, and then also we'll get into how it's been with like having to work from
Yeah.
home and being kind of a little more isolated from people.
Yeah.
And so,
Perfect.
Hannah, you were just saying that you're suffering from 3 different issues. If you want to get into that.
Yeah. So, yeah, like my whole life, I've basically suffered from anxiety, depression, and OCD. Mostly anxiety and OCD, and depression really like started after I moved out here. I had like a full-blown mental breakdown after I moved to Denver. I don't
Like what
know
part?
if
Like when?
anyone noticed. Sarah noticed. Yeah, for sure. Sarah's the only person I've really
My
talked
wife.
to about this. Yeah.
No, that's good that you had someone to talk to. About it.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I knew a little bit about this, but
uh-huh.
nothing in detail. Especially the OCD part. I
Yeah.
knew
Yeah,
nothing
same.
about that.
Yeah, it's weird. That's why I don't like to talk about it.
It's not weird. It's very normal.
Yeah.
Millions of Americans have
Yeah.
the same issues.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm sure some of us in the room also experience some of those. So
Yeah. I had definitely a breakdown when I moved out here. I don't know. I just like totally freaked out, and it was mostly like physical symptoms that I was having. Actually, like when Russell, our friend, came out to visit, and who else was here? Like when we went to the Renaissance Fair.
Oh yeah, Sarah and I were here.
Yeah, I had a mental breakdown during
really?
that
Okay.
trip. Yeah. I was just having horrific anxiety. And I kept feeling like I was going to like faint and stuff, especially when I was driving, which was bad because I've always like loved going for long drives and stuff, but I couldn't drive on the highway for like a good few months after I moved out here without feeling like I was going to completely like pass out on the road, which is obviously terrifying. But yeah, I went to like urgent care as soon as that trip was over and you guys left, and I like freaked out to the urgent care person. And since then I'm on like a couple of different medications that have, thank God, like fixed me. But yeah, I've struggled with anxiety and like
what do you think, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
What do you think attributed to, because it seems like you didn't have those reactions before you moved out here. Was it because maybe you're a single lady making a tremendous move across the country? You know a few people here, but not many. You're also starting a brand new job. Mm-hmm. That's very intimidating and stressful. I mean, I know change is the most frustrating and anxiety riddled thing for me, at least. Like if anything changes in my life, like outside of my routine, or I mean, I just have a hard time coping with stuff like that. So do you think it's like something related to that or something different? Or
I've definitely like struggled with the anxiety and the OCD like since I was a child, and I can talk about that more, but definitely moving out here I think just like pushed my anxiety to another level. And yeah, I think it was like, that's really, I think, the first time that I've lived alone, because in college and stuff I lived with Sarah and like Michael and Cole and everybody. So yeah, I think maybe living alone kind of pushed it over the edge, and like starting the new job and stuff too.
So it's crazy. Like you lived alone. Mm-hmm. You'd always been, you'd lived with your parents before that, before college.
Yeah.
Then when you moved to college, you were living with somebody.
Yeah.
And then not only did you move across the country by yourself, but you're now living by yourself with a new job.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some pretty adult things that are just kind of life changing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so crazy to even think about me doing that right now. And thankfully I had my wife who came out shortly after I moved here. Mm-hmm. Or else I think I probably would have experienced some of the same things you did.
Yeah. Especially, like I feel like my cat is also like my emotional support animal, and I didn't have him like the first month I lived out here. I left him in Florida, and my family flew him to me like a month later. Yeah. So I was straight up alone, which was really hard.
Yeah. I was alone when I moved for my first job into Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah.
I was alone. Sarah was only a couple hours away, and then my family's only a couple hours away too, so it's not so bad. But I can totally understand how you would feel that way. I mean, it's just kind of you're bored and you're lonely.
And not knowing where anything was. Like every time I tried to go somewhere when I first moved here, I would get lost for like 30 minutes trying to get there.
Yeah.
It's not like the biggest city, but it's big enough to where like if you're, I mean, you lived in Ocala for a large portion of your life. Yeah. Very small.
It's like 2 mile by 2 mile.
Not quite, but also horse capital of the world.
It is.
We're oddly enough. Then the Tallahassee, which is, a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
It's still very small.
Yeah.
It's mostly a college town.
Yeah, it was
in a sense. And then all the way out to Denver, which is almost like a mini metropolis.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty big. It's a lot of suburbs.
Yeah.
So if you live in the suburbs, I mean, it's a long distance to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. So.
Yeah, it was rough.
So you spoke a bit about OCD. Like what kind of OCD?
Yeah, it's super hard to explain it, and I think that's why I've like never really tried to. But yeah, I think it's just an interesting like mental illness, because like what do you guys think of if I say I have OCD?
To me, I think of like there's a TV show I think that kind of goes into people with OCD, and I like what I remember from that show is it's kind of like you like turn the light switch on and off multiple times, something like that. Yeah, like to make sure it's off.
My dad has something where he has to count the steps to the staircase that he's going down or up. So like there's like that. Yeah,
that's actually like a pretty good thing, I feel like, because I feel like most people, like I think OCD is one of the most like misunderstood mental illnesses, because I would have thought you guys would say like it just means you want to be really clean and like keep your house in a perfect order and stuff. Like that's the like way it's portrayed in media and stuff. True. Yeah. But no, I think like what you said is more accurate. Like I definitely don't think it's just like wanting to have a perfectly clean house or anything. It's more like you have like intrusive thoughts. Like it kind of stemmed for me when I was like a really little kid. My grandma was dying of lung cancer, and I think that's kind of when it started.
Like a traumatic event.
Yeah, I
triggering
started like
something.
washing my hands all the time and stuff, because I was terrified I was going to catch cancer from her. And then ever since then, I've been terrified that my parents are going to get cancer and die. And like, even if the word like cancer pops into my head, I freak out. And
So like right now.
Yeah, like it can be literally anything. Like, I think some people have specific rituals and stuff. Like you said, your dad, like counting the stairs or something. But for me, it's kind of like a constant, like everything I do. Like if I'm brushing my hair and I like think that like a thought pops into my head that my parents are going to die or something, I'll just like keep brushing my hair until that thought like goes away. And then it's like a thing where you just have to keep doing the same thing over and over again until the bad thought goes away. And then you think like, okay, I feel good about this now and can move on with my life.
I'm really curious, how is that around other people? Like if you're getting ready with another person, whatever,
that's a great
what do
question.
you do?
I think it's better when I'm around other people. Like it's definitely easier to give in to those like rituals and stuff when you're alone, because nobody's there to watch you like act fucking crazy. So that's also like a hard thing about living alone, because it's easier if like Sarah's right there. I'm not going to stand there like brushing my hair for an hour because we have places to go, and like I don't want to look psycho.
So is that one of the physical things? Your ritual is brushing your hair?
It's like everything though.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
yeah.
It'll be whatever you're doing at the time where you
if
got
a
these
bad
thoughts
thought
in
comes
your head.
into my head, then I'm like, I have to
Keep
touch
doing
my
it.
pillow 5 more times until like it goes away
How
or something.
does your cat Leo, does he help
helps.
with that?
Yeah, I would say so, because it's almost like having another person there. Like he'll sit there and look at me like, why don't you come to bed right now instead of like standing there? Like I do the light switch thing sometimes too.
Really?
Yeah. I think having a pet is definitely helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if having some kind of partner will alleviate some of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've had this since I was like a child. And even like when I was with Cole and stuff, I kind of like, I've always had these thoughts and stuff. I don't know. I think it's like easier to do them too when you're really comfortable around someone. Like with Cole, I think I was like, I did them like more often than if I'm around just like friends or something. Cause
When you were with him, you would do it sometimes?
yeah, for sure. And I had such a hard time like explaining to him like it's so hard to explain, because it's just like a part of everything.
Yeah, it's a function of your existence in a way, and so to kind of materialize that in any way is difficult. I can totally understand. I mean, it's a nuance to life, mental illness. I think everybody has a little bit of mental illness in them, and it's just expressed in different ways.
Yeah, luckily I'm like very high functioning.
Well, that's good.
Everything.
Well, none of us knew about the OCD thing.
I know. I never really talked about it except for to Sarah.
And also, it's good that for some of the other things, you've been able to take some medicine that helps as well.
And my God.
So you're saying that helps?
The medicine?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. That's good. Like it helped so much with the physical symptoms I was having of anxiety. Like I said, like my heart would just drop. Like my heart rate would go down really quickly and stuff when I was driving on highways and stuff.
Is that a panic attack?
Kind of. Yeah, it was. I don't think I was having like full blown panic attacks, but like mini panic attacks.
Feel like you're like having a heart attack.
Yeah,
like
I was
a lot of people
freaking out.
Explain it like that. I've experienced similar things where my anxiety will spike and I have to like I remember the first real one I had was in the dorms at Florida State, and my heart would start pounding out of my chest.
Yeah.
I'd feel like I need to gasp for air.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't like breathe or something, and I had to go and pace the hallways in my dorm.
Yeah, yeah.
and I remember hearing about something similar. I'm like, oh, this must be what a panic attack is.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I guess I have to grapple with this anxiety somehow.
I got lucky with like the people I worked with at Open Table too. Like my friend Mia, who you guys know, also has bad anxiety and stuff, and like a couple other of my coworkers like really encouraged me to go like see a doctor because it was happening like really bad at work. Like just feeling like I was going to pass out and stuff. And yeah, now I'm on like a beta blocker to help my heart rate and stuff, and an antidepressant, which also fixes anxiety. So yeah.
Is there something that you've done outside of medicine that you think has helped as well?
Yeah, I think like meditation is really helpful. I should do that more often, but I think just like I'm also very into like spirituality and stuff, and like learning about that kind of thing puts my mind at ease. And then I also got really into yoga when I first moved out here, and that helped a lot too. And now I
Goat yoga.
Goat yoga, all the kinds of yoga. Yeah, any kind of like exercise is super helpful too, I think.
I was going to say, I've heard that a rigorous workout and a daily routine is very efficient into cutting down on some of the anxieties.
Yeah, I think workouts, and like workouts and even like traveling and stuff, like anything that makes you have to move through things quickly is really helpful for my OCD, at least, because I'm like, I have to do this like burpee and then these jumping jacks and stuff, and you don't have time to like fuck around with OCD like thoughts. So that's helpful. Yeah.
It occupies your
mind. Anything that like
Yeah.
makes your mind keep moving forward.
I think that's like the beauty of routine in general. And that kind of also just falls into OCD in a way, because what you described and what a lot of people described is like they almost create these routines in their head.
Yeah. So anything to like force you to not do that is good.
Has it been worse since you've been working at home? OCD?
Not really. I feel like the medications and stuff I'm on now, I told like the doctor that I was struggling with OCD too, and she was like, this is a specific kind of medicine that can help with that too. So I feel like ever since I've started on those, like I've been at a pretty good level. Like it's definitely not gone, but I can kind of like push myself. I can be like, okay, I recognize that these are like crazy thoughts and move past it more easily.
Yeah, that's great. What about for the anxiety? Does watching or not watching the news help, or
Oh my God. Not watching.
No, yeah, I would think so, right?
Yeah. When like COVID was, I have really bad health anxiety. Like I said, it started with like my grandmother passing away from cancer, and I can focus in so hard on like if anything feels weird about my body, I'm like, I'm fucking dying. So I have super bad health anxiety, and yeah, like I remember when COVID was first a thing, like I would spend hours on Twitter reading like the different headlines and stuff about it, and that was a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
I've had like
fake news,
the first like couple of
exaggerated,
months. Yeah, the first like couple of months of lockdown and everything, I had to like really limit myself to only watch like 30 minutes of news, and then I had to cut myself off, otherwise I just like start spiraling.
It's crazy, like, and I want to talk about this more in length on another podcast, but the globalization of the news networks and social media and all of that, I think is really attributed to a mass mental health issue in America, and also just around the world. I mean, I've deleted a lot of notification type apps like CNN, The Times from my phone, because I can't take the constant, like I don't need to know what's happening in Portland
it's bad
every fucking hour on the hour. Like I don't need to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. Like let me just do me.
Yeah, you gotta
and live in my own, like a lot of people say humans were only meant to kind of coincide and live in groups of like 100 people. That's where they think that we've flourished the most in terms of like mental health.
Yeah,
wise.
and now
Obviously,
we
like,
have access to
globalization
the
of
whole
science and information is great because we can share information at an instant. But I don't need to know that there was a mass shooting in across the world and live with that anxiety. Bad. I mean, it's the information at the fingertips for I can't imagine it being like a 10-year-old and having an iPhone and having the burden of this constant information at my fingertips. Right. I mean, knowing myself, I would be an emotional and anxiety wreck.
Yeah, because before it was like when we were younger, if there was a school shooting or like a really bad thing that happened, we probably wouldn't hear about it unless it was like a friend told us because they heard it from their parents or something. But we wouldn't just see it on TikTok or see it on whatever, like Twitter, whatever media. It is. Yeah. And now you do. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I can think back like when COVID was starting too. Yeah. I mean, I think it's good to be informed. So like you have to look, kind of have to like read some news or some information here and there. But I mean, I was like kind of obsessed with it, I would say. Like we watched all the White House briefings,
same.
all of everything. And I also was really into how the stock market was going because I was like really concerned. Yeah, really concerned about like our jobs and the economy and stuff. And then there was a certain point where I was like, okay, this has been a while now.
We have to cut ourselves off.
I think I'll maybe like not watch this one. Also, Trump kind of got on my nerves, so I had to stop watching the White House stuff. And then I've been a lot happier since then.
I know,
and I'm
same.
Not any worse off.
Exactly.
You don't need. It's not your responsibility to worry about the woes of the world, and I cannot express this enough. And like I said, I want to talk about this more because I think it's super important to understand and to practice some form of limiting yourself from social media, limiting yourself from the news in any kind of fashion, because I think a lot of people, including like we just talked about ourselves, it's driving a lot of anxiety. It's driving a lot of depression. I mean, I can't tell you how. I mean, I cut myself from a lot of this earlier, like months ago. Yeah. And, from time to time, I still want to be an informed citizen. So I'll go on to like some news. I try to make it as local as possible or as independent as possible. But that's literally like the most stressful part of my day is checking in to the world. Literally, crazy. Like that's I'm not joking. That is the most stressful part of my day, and that's ridiculous to say. Like that shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, especially when you want there to be good news and you're excited. So you're thinking like, I'm going to check the news and it's going to be something good. And then it's usually not because it's sensationalized or it's just bad news in general. And then you just feel bad the rest of the day.
Well, it's news in many cases with an agenda. And the agenda is to get you upset. And that gets more clicks. I mean, this topic has been fucking beaten to death on podcasts and other shows in general. And so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's true, and I have some pretty darn good real world experience to talk about. I mean, it's so frustrating, and I wish it was different. I don't know the answer, so I can't give any constructive feedback to the situation.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of issues with the world, but
truth.
I'm glad that things have gotten better for you.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have those struggles. That really sucks.
Yeah.
But it's good if other people want to listen to this podcast and they hear some things that you've done to help yourself.
Yeah, especially like I feel like OCD is not talked about very much. Like everybody is like, I'm anxious and depressed, but nobody talks about that.
I totally agree. Like the way I've thought about it. I mean, you're the first person that I think I've known with OCD. or a severe case of
Uh-huh.
it. So I've always thought of it as like it's pretty rare. Like not many
Yeah,
people
I
have
feel like
it.
so many people probably have it
Mhm.
and don't ever speak about it.
Do you think being a only child has
Yes.
attributed to some?
all of your problems.
Yeah, because I do. Because like I said, like I've had like a lot of my scary thoughts are about losing my parents, and it's because they're the only family I have. Like I don't have any siblings or anything to lean on. Yeah. So
Are
I've
you
always
close
been
to any
terrified of that.
other? I won't say immediate, but like cousins, uncles.
Not
aunts?
really.
Yeah.
I have really my other closest family members are like an aunt and uncle that also moved to Florida a little bit after my parents did, but like the rest of my family's all spread out around the Midwest and stuff. And yeah, I never really was very close with like cousins or anything.
Well, you have the lucky duck.
I know
family.
I have. Yeah.
And all you listeners out there and watchers, you're also a part of this family.
Yeah.
You are the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling lonely out there, stay tuned. Keep listening. You're a part of our extended family.
Yes,
out
you guys
there.
are definitely my family.
Subscribe.
Smash that like button.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think mental illness is something that that America will have to deal with eventually. I don't think that the administrations or there's not a lot of public service initiatives to deal or grapple with the amount of mental illness.
Yeah.
It's almost a epidemic of its own
Yeah,
in
yeah.
America. I mean, and I think a large part of the homeless population problems in California and even Denver, Texas, can be largely attributed to mental illness.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
ever since the Reagan administration closed and cut all funding to mental institutes and pushed almost every single one of those people out into the streets, we have seen just a tremendous uptick in homeless population.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also really upsetting when you hear people who are leading your country or representing your country, the people you're supposed to look up to, who say that people who suffer from those things are losers.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's really disappointing and super unpresidential.
Yeah.
I mean,
if that's a word.
Yeah. I think people like to pretend that like you should just always act like you're strong and mighty and whatever. But I mean, people are people and they feel the way they feel.
I think it's important to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
When you had a problem and you were feeling faint
and
you knew that that something was wrong with you, you sought help, right? And help was given to you.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have
that
access
it's
to
a
the same help
privilege.
that you
it's
have.
literally a privilege.
And so I think we need to really think about our duty to provide health benefits or just help in general to people who don't have it, because I think, like you said, you felt privileged that you were able to do that. You have health care. You were able to go. A lot of people don't have access to that.
And even having like a supportive like network and stuff. Like I told my parents, like, I think I'm dying ever since I moved out here, and they're like, go to urgent care.
There's
a lot of people don't have that.
30+ million Americans right now that do not have health care insurance.
Yeah,
and
that's horrible.
do not have the ability to do what you did to combat your illness. And I can only imagine what would have happened if you didn't have access to that type of care.
And I think that like no matter how you stand on the subject, I think there's kind of like a middle ground you can stand on, because you have to think, like, even if you don't believe it's your responsibility to take care of other people, you have to think about, like, what's the cost? Like, what's the total cost of this? If we let people, like, fall ill to these illnesses and become homeless or whatever, versus, like, just treating them and helping them, it may be a lot cheaper, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Not to be insensitive to it, but, like, to try to provide an argument to the people 100%. Who don't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a sensitive subject and not not one that a lot of people like talking about. So thank you for
Yes.
talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's obviously a lot of courage to do that. It's not something that many people are willing to do. But I did want to circle back to real quick before we kind of wrap this up.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to confess something to you.
Oh my God, what is it?
Chase is in love with you.
Oh my God. Janie, watch out. Janie's like, you can have him.
Miles and I,
Oh no.
when we knew you were going to be on the podcast
Oh, no.
about a month ago,
no.
created a fake Hinge account.
Oh,
Have
Shut
been
up.
talking to you, pretending to date you for about a month now.
What the fuck?
So our name
We
is
are-
Gerald.
Gerald Smith, is that?
No. Shit, it's the wrong Hannah.
Never heard of him.
Fuck. She's like, I would never date somebody named Gerald.
Gerald?
Like,
Wait.
fuck that name.
Trevor?
John?
Never heard of
Ah,
him.
fuck. I think we've been wasting our time
Yeah.
and probably
Fuck.
waiting on the wrong person.
Oh my God.
Oops.
It's okay. This was totally worth it.
I learned a lot. I'm just saying.
I learned how to use Hinge.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Not that it'll help.
Oh man.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hannah, for being
Yes.
on our
Thanks for having
third
me.
podcast.
I'll be on every
officially.
month if you want.
Yes. I think you passed the test. We'll have you on again
Yay.
eventually.
I have so much to talk
Fine.
about.
Yeah. We can talk about a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
Lots of Colorado things,
Yeah.
woman things, topless
Yes.
pictures.
There's so much,
Mental illness.
so much to touch on.
It's true.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Thanks,
thank you.
everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Catch us next time.
Yay.
Don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias
At the Lucky Duck.
at The Lucky Duck.
Woohoo.
Till next time.